I get a DM from a guy, and he plays for the Raiders out here. I live in Vegas. And at first he looked a little familiar to me, but like for some reason I just didn't put two and two together at first. So, I answered his DM, and then like we exchanged numbers, whatever, like, and then eventually maybe a few days later we go on like a date, and we go to like this new casino by me, and we had a good time, and I was with him till like 4 a.m, just vibing. We went to like his house, I met his puppy, and then I went home. Like, it was a really good first date, like no immediate red flags, And then the next day I kind of like started to remember who he was, and so I'm asking him questions on the phone. I'm like, like, I think I seen something about you like on the blogs or something one time. Like, is this you? Blah blah. He's like, yeah. He's like, my ex, she's like some girl on TikTok or whatever. And like the way he was describing her, I was like, why does this girl sound kind of familiar? Like, I'm on TikTok every single day, so I feel like I would have at least seen her on my For You page like at least once or twice. Maybe this isn't a good idea that I start trying to talk to him, but me, being me, I was like, I need to see for myself. Let me give him the benefit of the doubt, blah, blah. Dumb. So anyways, me and him, we chilled for maybe like 3 days, like back to back. And on the third day, he says, I love you. So me, I'm a Sag, I'm a fire sign. I'm going to go along with it because I love excitement. And so I'm like, love you too. But anyway, so... over the course of the last, I'd say like a month and a half, it was very much like love bomby, very much like every time we would be like really like just laying down, talking deep, and like having these type of conversations or whatever, he'd say stuff like, oh, like, you deserve like a wedding ring, and like, I wouldn't ever want you to be another baby mom. Like, I would marry you first.
So women want princess treatment from men, but they don't act like princesses. You guys see the contradiction there? Women don't realize that in order for them to get the princess treatment, men want to see them act like princesses in the first place. That means you gotta speak like a princess, carry yourself like a princess, dress like a princess, behave like a princess overall, all right? But instead, we got women out here who want the upper hand. They want to do all the manly things, all the masculine things, but then yet at the end they want you to treat them like a princess, but yet they also undervalue and undermine men, right? They also disrespect men. So at the end, I was like, how do you want us to treat you like a princess when you don't even respect us, when you don't even behave like a princess? So what are you talking about? Like, they're all out here disrespecting men left, right, and center, but they're out here as well with the belief that they deserve to be treated like a princess. When in reality is, no, you don't just get treated like a princess because you asked to be treated like a princess. You gotta be it first in order to get treated like it. That's how it goes, man. With anything in life, you gotta be it, and then you will get treated like it. So anyways, guys, this video, we got more reactions to go through. So make sure to click the like button, subscribe, and let's go.
She used to record shit from months ago behind my back. I didn't even know she had a second phone. And now it all makes sense. She was fucking cheating on me. So she used to try to make me mad and record me in anger so that if she ever got caught up for cheating, this was her plan. I got exposed for cheating, so instead of owning up and taking accountability, I'm just gonna post Brandon yell at me. But it's crazy because in those phone calls, she would talk super calm, and she would like say things to make me more angry, to make my blood boil, just so she could have better content. Just so she could have better recordings. And I never knew, bro. Oh my God. And it was just like a whole plan. It was a whole plan of her getting all these recordings because she knew she was cheating on me. So it was like a backup. Okay, if Brandon is gonna expose me for cheating one day, if he ever finds out, well, I'm stocked up on these recordings of him yelling. You know what I mean? And I'm like, bro, yeah, you forced me to fucking, like, she would manipulate the fuck out of me, like, to make me yell, like, just to have more content. It was crazy. And then, not to mention, this is where I fucking drew the line.
Now, so this video goes on to show, guys, doesn't matter if you have money, right? Doesn't matter what kind of man you are, high status or whatever. At the end of the day, women will still do women thing, right? Women will still cheat on you. Women will still disrespect you like this. And like, look at here, look at my guy. He's a very successful man, right? He's an online video creator. If you don't know, he's a YouTuber, whatever. He was spoiling this woman, He was treating her like a princess. At the end, you see what he got, the short end of the stick. This is the type of woman, bro, like you can't even have a proper conversation with. Like, you're calling her, and you're thinking you guys are talking in privacy, but she has another phone recording and saving all the conversation. What for? But you guys still go for these type of women. Now, yes, let's address the big elephant in the room. She was pretty, bro. We're not gonna deny that, right? She was attractive, yes. My guy fell for that. You know, he almost became a simp for her. Well, I guess he did become a simp because he was paying for her lifestyle, paying for everything, treating her right, treating her like a princess, giving her everything. In the end, he still got cheated on. And in the end, he's getting disrespected out here because all his information now, all the conversation, all the messaging has been saved on her part. Now, he doesn't know what she's going to do with that onwards, right? Because now they just ended on a bad term. She can do anything. You see how much power you guys are giving these women, bro? I'm not saying you shouldn't, but I'm just telling you guys, you know, you guys are the ones that were picking these type of women. You know, at the end of the day, like, yeah, as much as we want to blame women, men do play a role in this as well, right? Like in this situation, he didn't deserve to get treated like this, man, especially after what he was doing for her. Like, yes, okay, maybe on his part, he was not always goody two shoes, right? He was not always probably the best boyfriend. Of course, every relationship is like that. You guys are always going to fight. You're going to have your ups and downs, but at the end of the day, it's like, did he deserve the cheating behind his back? You know, did he deserve like having the conversation recorded and all this? Damn, bro.
I'm just doing laundry and stuff, but I thought, why not do a story time of this guy I tried to date recently and just, you know, maybe y'all can laugh and a kiki with me and get some tea and enjoy your day and, you know, so why not? So randomly I get a DM from a guy and he plays for the Raiders out here. I live in Vegas. And at first he looked a little familiar to me, but like for some reason I just didn't put two and two together at first. So, I answered his DM and then like we exchanged numbers, whatever, like, and then eventually maybe a few days later we go on like a date and we go to like this new casino by me and we had a good time and I was with him till like 4 a.m. just vibing. We went to like his house. I met his puppy. And then I went home. Like, it was a really good first date. Like, no immediate red flags, you know? And then the next day, I kind of, like, started to remember who he was. And so I'm asking him questions on the phone. I'm like, I think I seen something about you, like, on the blogs or something one time. Like, is this you? Blah, blah. He's like, yeah. He's like, my ex, she's, like, some girl on TikTok or whatever. And like the way he was describing her, I was like, why does this girl sound kind of familiar? Like I'm on TikTok every single day, so I feel like I would have at least seen her on my For You page like at least once or twice. So anyways, he admits who it is and I'm like, oh, that's your ex, okay. And so I remember her posting like story times about their relationship and it was like so toxic, like so bad, and like he got 5 baby mamas and all this other shit, and like like she caught him with another girl in his bed, all types of shit, right? Like it was going viral, a lot of people seen it, and like in my mind I'm like, maybe this isn't a good idea that I start trying to talk to him, but me being me, I was like, I need to see for myself, let me give him the benefit of the doubt, blah blah. Dumb. So anyways, me and him, we chilled for maybe like 3 days, like back to back. And on the third day, he says, I love you. On the third day of knowing me. So, me, I'm a Sag, I'm a fire sign. I'm going to go along with it because I love excitement. And so I'm like, love you too. But anyway, so over the course of the last, I'd say like a month and a half, it was very much like love bomby, very much like every time we would be like really like just laying down, talking deep and like having these type of conversations or whatever, he'd say stuff like, oh, like, you deserve like a wedding ring. And like, I wouldn't ever want you to be another baby mom. Like I would marry you first. And like, I want you to move in with me. Like I've been at his house. I've slept over. He slept over at mine. I've driven his car when he was out of town. I've taken him to work at the facility out here. I've picked him up from work, the whole shabam. Like we were really like in a relationship. I've met his father, etc. So anyways, I just started to notice things. Like he just is a very selfish person, like very emotionally selfish. Like did he do like a few nice things for me? Yeah, like he sent me some money like once or twice, and then like he got me flowers. That's cool. Like I've obviously gotten more, but it was nice, but other than that, emotionally he's just not available and very, very selfish. Like I would say what was bothering me or something and he would make it about him every single time. Or he'd be like, what about how I feel? Like, you never see my point of view. You never see my perspective. I'm like, yes, I do. Like, what are you talking about? He would just always gaslight the fuck out of me. And then if I use words like that, gaslight, he'd be like, what does that even mean? Like, how do you not know at 25 years old what that word means? But I digress. So yeah, it just got really toxic. And then I just like would find myself giving more than he was just emotionally. And I'm just like, why? Like, you're like, he's not even a catch. Like, and I had to remind myself of that. You know what I mean? Like, I could see if he was like above 6 foot and like no kids and like didn't have 5, 6 different baby mamas and like, you know, it was just like I had to like snap back into reality. Like, girl, why are you giving so much emotionally when you don't even really like him? So, you know, I gave him like a few chances to like try to show me that this was really what he wanted, you know, like on a real level. And he just didn't, you know, and I just eventually I just got back to what I was doing and just kept him on the back burner. Like, I started talking to people again, started answering text messages because he kind of had me in the first half. He really did. It's like the love bombing stuff that really gets you. You know what I mean? Like, he's good at that and he'll know how to pull you in. You know what I mean? But then like going back to the ex part, he would like really tell me all of her business, which I should have seen as a red flag because, you know, why are you going around telling this girl's business? Like, oh, like the fertility appointments because she got something where she can't have kids. And then it's like, you know, he would say, oh, like she lied about this on me. She lied about that on me. She texted me, apologizing, trying to get back with me, all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, why are you telling me her business? It was just unnecessary stuff that I didn't need to know about this poor girl. Bless her heart, because they are currently back together. Okay, shout out to you. But I just feel like after seeing everything and then my good friend seeing that they're back together, I'm like, why tell this girl's business? Why talk so much shit about her? Why shit on her literally? Why like say all these horrible things about her just to get back with her? And then it like goes back to like me trying to date him. And I'm like, thank God I wasn't that person, because imagine all the shit you'd probably talk about me with my smart ass mouth. You know what I mean? Like, huh? But all this to say, this little story time, the love bombing and like emotional manipulation in men is kind of like alarming, because so many of them know how to do it and then claim they don't know what that is. Like, I'll be like love bombing or gaslighting. He'd be like, I don't know what those words mean. You might not know what the word means, but you know how to do it. I'll tell you that. And like, I've lived in Vegas maybe 3 or 4 years, and that was like the first person that lived in Vegas with me that I've tried to date. And I see why. Like, all the people that I've had a relationship with or something have been out of state, because some in the air, some in the water, I don't know. But these Vegas motherfuckers, like, mind you, for you to like say you love me on the 3rd day, say you don't want anyone else but me, say I'm your person, your soulmate, say all these things in less than 2 months, ask me to move in, leave your clothes at my house. I had to beg him for 5 days to come get his clothes from my house, y'all. I had to, the last straw was like, if you don't come get your clothes from my house, I'm gonna throw them away. He was like, okay, I'll come get them. And then the day he came to get them, like he left, and then like he just keeps trying to pull you back in, like when he knows that you're about to leave. Like, he tried to keep pulling me back in, would text me late at night, literally text me a few days ago talking about, do you want to fuck? And yet, ain't you with old girl? The tea is piping hot. But blessings to them, you know. If that's what she want, that's what she want, you know. And I think, you know, there's always forgiveness in things. If Shorty forgave him for all the things that he done, and then he forgave her for all the things that they done, and she want to be baby mama number 6, that's her prerogative. That has nothing to do with me. I'm sure it's an accomplishment for her. That's totally fine. Like, kudos, amazing, congratulations. Because the last straw with us trying to talk was, he said, oh, she might be pregnant right now. She says she never got her period. And I was like, so what are you going to do if she says she's pregnant? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, what are you going to say to her? He's like, I don't know. I was like, you going to say congratulations or whatever? He's like, I can't tell a woman what to do with her body, blah, blah. I said, so you want the baby? He's like, I can't tell a woman. I said, this is the problem with you. He don't want marriage. He don't want this. You know, as much as he told me he did. Yeah, right. He wants babies. He wants to procreate. Like, he loves procreation. Like, he on baby mama almost 6, 7, whatever. So in my mind, I'm like, that's not what I want for my life. Sorry, I'm a wife. I need a ring, baby. Okay, I'm wifey over here. You can't tie me down. You can't trap me. But again, I digress. I pray for everybody. You know, I might kiki, I might tell my tea, and it might seem sinister, but I promise I have the best intentions. You know, go off, you know, into the sunset, you and your 7 kids and your girlfriends, however many there are. And I wish y'all nothing but the best. But I will say, stop trying to fuck me when you got a girl. That's trifling. That's nasty. Throwing off pH balances is never cute, you know. And, you know, keep it cute. Just keep it cute. Keep it cordial. If you want to be in a relationship with her, stay faithful for as long as you can. But yeah, that's my little story time. You know, it just happened recently. We just cut things off literally recently. And I blocked him. So, you know, she don't have nothing to worry about over here. But baby girl, you got something on your hands.
Now, as we watch this girl's video here, like, I just want to say, man, like, why do women act like this, bro? Why do they act like all of a sudden they're too far, too good for you? Like, look at her. She made a mistake, bro. She decided to go date this dude, whatever. You know, they had a little moment there going on, right? A short little romance, whatever. She finds out he has all these baby mamas, all this blah, 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 blah. Mind you not, she's probably sleeping with him at this point. But I just love how the tone of this video comes off as if, like, she's airing herself in the perfect light. It's like, no, don't mess with me, go back to your baby mamas, this and that, blah blah blah. It's like, girl, listen, you gotta humble yourself. Listen, you messed up. You were dealing with a man like this. Now you should learn from it, but do not act like you're better. You know, she's trying to act like she's proper, bro. She's trying to act like she's all better than all them other baby mamas that this dude has. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's low-key trying to bash this other woman, but it's like, you are on the same foot. You know, you were wearing the same shoe as all of them. You know what I'm saying? You were dating this man. You know, you were driving his car. He's coming, he's sleeping over at your house. You know, you were vulnerable with him at that point. Right now, if she didn't get into a relationship with him, if she had stopped it right off the bat, right, stopped it from escalating into anything further, then she has a right to talk the way she's talking right now. But right now she's kind of talking like she's all preppy and all proper. She's like a queen on a throne. Like, yo, sit down a little bit, you know, take accountability. That's all right. You learn from it. I just don't like the tone she's using, bro. Not even to hate or anything, but it's just like a tone that's coming here. It's like, you're just trying to bash him, bash all the other baby mamas like you're better than them, but you were on the same foot as them. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, granted, you don't have kids like them, but you were in an intimate relationship with this man. So that's the one thing you guys all have in common, right? You guys kind of lost your mind a little bit, you know, you guys got romanced away, and then later on, of course, you know, this didn't sit right with you, the fact that, you know, him and all his baby mamas and all that stuff, and you decided to call it off. But at the end, don't act like you're proper, don't act like you're better.
Back in 2017, X would fly out 2 girls from Ohio, one named Zoe and the other a 16-year-old by the name of Jocelyn Flores. X was 19 and Jocelyn was a minor at the time, and he even asked Jocelyn's mother for her blessing to go on this trip, which she agreed to, believing her daughter would be in good hands. Now, a lot of people thought the girls had flown out purely to model for an up-and-coming clothing brand, but it was only after the girls got there that X would ask Jocelyn to model for Revenge, revealing that this was originally a purely romantic meeting and really anything but professional. Now, the first night goes off without a hitch, but the very next day, X would leave to attend his first prom with his cousin, and later that night returns to the apartment to find $7,000 missing. He immediately started to question the 2 girls, and things got bad quickly, to the point where the girls were about to fight. And that's when X informs them that they both have to leave, and even worse, that he no longer wanted Joss to model for Revenge. X was on probation at the time, and so far he'd only spent 61 days out of jail and could not risk getting in any sort of trouble. So he offers to pay for Jocelyn's flight back to Ohio, but she declines for reasons we just don't know. X leaves for dinner that night and receives a barrage of texts from Jocelyn begging him to let her stay, and the last text she sent was shortly before she would find herself in a car on the way to the Hampton Inn, driven by 2 of X's friends who say they never even knew her name. Now, reports say that she checked in all black except for a blonde wig, hiding her black hair, and was helped to the hotel by one of X's friends. After helping her settle in, the friend left for dinner, and by the time he returned, he claims that Jocelyn was alone in the locked hotel bathroom with the lights on, but no cause of concern, so they thought. He would leave one more time to go smoke with a homie, and he finally returns to see Joss is still in the bathroom with the lights on. Now, bro just smoked a bleezy, he probably wasn't thinking straight, and he was super tired and instantly passed out. Now, he wouldn't wake up until 7 a.m. the next day, which happened to be Mother's Day. After waking up and realizing the bathroom is still locked with the lights on, he panics, calls hotel staff, who arrive at the room 515. After opening the door with a screwdriver, they discover Jocelyn lifeless on the bathroom floor, immediately ruling her death suicide. Rest in peace, Jocelyn Flores. Rest in peace, X. The song Jocelyn Flores would peak at number 19 on the Billboard Hot 100 and would help a ton of people out there that are battling with their own.
Now, man, this is XXXTentacion, and in case you guys don't know who this is, guys, this is a rapper, right? So, like, the thing is, man, he's dead now, you know, and the story here about this girl that he brought, I mean, she's dead as well. Like, it's sad that they're both dead, but, like, at the end of the day, bro, it's like, what kind of a parent would allow their underage daughter to be flown out by a rapper? Like, you know what I'm saying? This doesn't even say right. Like, what kind of, in the right mindset, what kind of parent would sign and be like, no, it's fine for her, she may be like 14, 15, she can fly and come see you, a 19-year-old man? Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't even add up. This is why you need man in the picture, right? If she had a father would even have rejected this, or on top of that, her father would have flown alongside her to go, you know, for her to go whatever, do these modeling contracts or whatever. Because, you know, I think as much as we want to blame this rapper here, we should also blame the parents. You know, you gotta hold them accountable to this, because, like, how are you gonna let your underage child fly to meet some random person out there you don't know? She's like, anything could happen to her. She's not even a teenager, bro. She's still in your care. And at the end of the day, like, you see what happened, bro. Things don't even add up in this video. Because first of all, how does my man's here get his money stolen, but he kicks these girls out, and all of a sudden he's one of his friend, you know, gets his girl, you know, takes her to a hotel, whatever, he's smoking, he's all high, the next morning she's dead. Like, how does this story even make any sense? Like, there's so many people. What is the coincidence that your friend randomly stumbled into her somewhere, but supposedly she was with you like the day before, and your friend doesn't know that, and he just met her by a chance? That, you know, it doesn't make any sense, bro. You know, there's so many girls. You're telling me that out of all these girls, he stumbles to his friends, you know, short fling? Like, what a small world. Like, there's a population only like of 10 girls there, or what? But I mean, at the end of the day, guys, like, look at this. This is what happens when you mess with younger women, guys. You know, that's why I always say, bro, you guys gotta be messing with the right age of women, because in them younger women, bro, their mind is not fully developed. They're out here, like, look at her, bro. She's acting like a child. She's here, you know, carrying wigs, all with, you know, different guys, you know, going in the hotel here and there. Like, I mean, this kind of behavior, boy, is like, this is what happens when you deal with younger women, bro. You know, the outcome is not that great. And X could have avoided it if he had just literally flown the girl back home. Matter of fact, don't even talk to underage women. Like, you know what I'm saying? Talk to proper quality women, right? And then for her to still be alive today, he should have just flown her back. Like, okay, I get it. You were trying to, like, you know, whatever, have her model for you, whatever. Or it was a romantic thing, whatever it is. But now this, of course, is eating my man here, because it's like, he even went on to create a song about this, of how hurt and how much he's in pain after he found out she's dead. It's like, bro, it's your fault. You know, now she's forever going to be ingrained in your mind because you feel like you caused that. But at the end of the day, guys, he's dead as well. So, I mean, it is what it is. But, you know, just more of a story, mess with the right kind of woman.
All right, so who you here with tonight? So would you like to see my date? Yes. Who is it? Uh-oh. 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 You shot the shot and scored? He manifested it and it happened.
Yeah, so I went in. I was excited. I'm sorry. So I went in with confidence. You know, she told me to get Creed, and of course I had to take her out to eat. Okay. And I spent about $1,500.
Why your face look like that? That's not true.
She told me not to talk about the dinner part. Yeah. So I talked about the dinner part. So yeah. So, you know, this is our first date, and where our next one gonna be?
Where's the next date? Can we come and watch? He manifested this,
yeah,
and now it happened. But we haven't went on a date yet. So you out here lying?
I'm just manifesting. Type shit.
Well, thank you guys for stepping into the shade room. We hope to see you on the TSR Baywatch.
That's crazy, guys. I mean, like, literally, bro, my guy here took her to a high-end restaurant and spent $1,200. Like, I mean, I don't care how much money you guys have in your bank account and how much you guys want to spend on your dates. That's totally up to you. But my thing goes is like, okay, you're shooting yourself like this on the first date. Or how's the second date gonna be? Because guess what? Once you take her to a $1,200 whatever restaurant, and that second date, boy, can't be anything under, man. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to up it up. You can't do anything below that. It can't be like, oh, you take her to a $1,200 restaurant and in the second day, bro, you're taking her to Tim Hortons, you know, and buy her like a $5 coffee. Like, bro, no, man. And here's the thing, right? This is why a lot of men here are getting used up like a sack of money, bro. You know what I mean? They're getting knocked up just for like food, bro, and all this by these women, right? The main reason here is because men are too gullible, bro. You know, men think the way to impress a woman is through money. No, usually it's through emotions. Yeah, money helps, but like different kind of emotions you can create with her, right? You can make her feel some type of way that she's never felt with any other dude, and you become that one guy. And guess what? You can have the cheapest date out there, bro. Even go for an ice cream and even walk at a park. It doesn't matter as long as you create these kind of emotions and connection with her, you're set. But men out here, they don't even entertain that. They think like, yo, let me spend money, right? They're thinking with their wallet instead of their head, and at the end they're being looked as a bag of money, bro. You know, do you blame the women for doing this? If a lot of men all they have to offer is money, is like, do you blame them for accepting it? And a lot of women end up picking up this bad behavior, and they just start filtering out all their other dates after this one based on how much money they have and based on where they're going to take them, you know, and that sort of activities they're going to do. You see, like, I always have this kind of thought that these type of women that are always looking for men as a source of money or as a source of like high lifestyle, it's like at some point there was a man in her life that offered her that, right? And she got a taste of that, and now she can't come back down because she already had a taste of what it's like to be with a man who's going to spend for her this much, who's going to take her to this, who's going to show her this experience. Once she has a taste of that, do you think she's going to go back to dating a regular guy? A guy that's going to take her to like a park and push the swing? Do you think so? So at the end of the day, I think the men are the ones also who are creating this problem, right? Because they are thinking with their wallet instead of their head.
If you're a minority and you want to date white women, you just kind of have to accept that you can't have certain types of them. There's only a couple types of white that will date a minority. I think that some are off the table, like Taylor Swift white, off the table. It's hard to get a Starbucks white as a minority, but ironically enough, it's very easy to get like a Starbucks barista white. you can't go peak white, you can go off white. You know what I'm saying? You can get like one that has a tattoo of a deer, you know, has a tattoo of her spirit animal somewhere, but you can't get yoga class white. That's off of the table. Anything that could be a Fox News anchor, off the table. You won't get none of that. Anything like if her dad owns a pontoon boat, you can't have that one. But you can get the one that likes to smoke cigarettes at dive bars. Maybe you can get that one. That's cool. You can get you can get thrift shop white, and that's fine. Honestly, that's where you'd rather be.
You know what he said here? As funny as it sounds, I know some of you guys are like, what did he say? Is he thinking right? Did bro smoke a little bit too much? But let me tell you, man, he's making a point. You know, if you're a minority out there, right? Or maybe, yeah, of course, a minority. There's no maybes. Definitely you can't date certain type of women. Like certain type of women are kind of off limits to you, because these type of women, like you can always tell this type of, I guess he specifies it as white women, but which is true. You can always tell that they live a different life from you. You know what I mean? If they have like a rich dad, they live in the rich neighborhood, they go to all these preppy schools, they dress all expensive, all makeup on point, everything always on point, they have these type of friends. It's like, if you're just a regular minority dude, yeah, you can't really get them. Like, I'm not saying it's impossible. I mean, circumstances have to align up before you can even get that, but at the end, I'm just saying your odds are a little bit lower than if you were just maybe a regular person, right? And this is not coming from insecurity, guys. I'm telling you right now, right? The only way this can change now is if you guys have money, right? If you have like sort of money, you have a name for yourself, you know, you have a little bit of a clout, you know, people know you in your city like that, you're that one guy, you know, you're popping, you have a little bit of a hype to you, right? A hype to your name, like, you know what I mean? Like, then of course these type of women you can definitely end up with, right? Most of the times you guys see these women, these type of women end up with them professional athletes, right? Those them rappers, you see, they have to get to that level to be able to even attain this kind of women. You know, at the end of the day, like, if these guys, I guarantee you, if they weren't NBA players, they weren't football players, they weren't rappers, they weren't whatever, these guys who would be on the same level as you, they wouldn't be able to attain them, right? So at the end, it's like you gotta elevate your life to some certain degree before you can get access to this type of women. Because if you're a regular guy, I mean, unless like you in your town, bro, there's not enough men and there's a lot of women and these women are out of option, they just have to settle with you, then yeah, sure. But I'm just telling you there, bro, like, in order to attain this type of women, you gotta change up your lifestyle and you gotta be almost living the same lifestyle as them or even better, bro. Right? Because these women are already, this let me not even call them women, these girls are already growing up with their father spoiling that shit out of them, right? They're getting everything, they're getting all the experiences that a regular person would get in their late in their life once they retire. You know, these women are already getting from a younger age. Like, I'm talking about like traveling and trying all these new things, you know, all these dining around all over the world, flying to, you know, whatever globe, you know what I'm saying?
You'll never want to cheat on me. You'll be drained. Like, there's nothing left in you to cheat. But I will cheat because I'm bored. I love cheating. It's actually my biggest fantasy.
And I spent 7 years with that girl, and I regret it very much, because she called me ugly, she forced me to walk 5 to 10 meters behind her, she never held my hand, she never kissed me, she never did anything to show appreciation of me, she just simply used me.
I've never held hands with someone, and I've never received flowers. I feel so unlovable.
Vape? No. It's a 3D printed dragon that's made of roses. I'd really like to give this to someone for Valentine's Day. Unfortunately, I live a life of crushing loneliness, spirals me further and further every day into a deep dark depression. It makes me think that I may never find love and that I'm gonna die alone. You ever been in love, Spider-Man? It's you.
You guys heard it from these men right here. You see what they went through, bro? Right? They're heartbroken because they haven't had the experience. But at the end of the day, bro, these men are the perfect candidates for these women to use right up. Like, you know what I mean? Because these men, they're the type that think the way to attain a girl is through flowers and money and all this and that. It's like, no, bro, there's more that goes into it. And look, my guy here said he had to walk like 5 feet behind the girl. Does that even make any sense, bro? Like, let me ask him this, like, what were you thinking when she told you that? Like, do you think this is how a relationship should be like? Like, she is embarrassed to be seen in public with you, but yet she's playing as if she's your girlfriend. There's gotta be something you were doing for her to be sticking around, which probably you were giving her money, you were supplying her lifestyle, and at the end she was just using you for that, and she probably going around and messing with other boyfriends out there, right? That's actually really sad, bro. This goes on to show how evil women are, bro. Not all of them, but yo, majority of them, they act just like this. Like, this girl said that you will never want to cheat on her, but she can cheat on you. Like, how does that even make any sense? Why wouldn't you want to cheat on her? She's just a regular sack of apples, bro. There's more apples out there, you see. But this is the problem, right? Majority of men, we're talking about the made men, right, who have nothing else going on for them, they think once they attain this type of girl, they think that's it, like they've hit the jackpot, without realizing that there is women like her everywhere, bro. You know, they take that scarcity mindset and they think they'll never get any other woman like this, and they don't want to cheat on her, they treat her right, they do this, they do that. You see, the more you respect women, the more you get disrespected. Now mark my words, the more you respect them, the more you get disrespected. So I mean, do whatever you want with that information.
So this influencer, let's call her Slappy. And Slappy is living a great life. She has millions of followers on her Instagram, her OnlyFans is blowing up now, she's making over $1 million a year from it. So of course she's on Instagram, flexing that big luxury lifestyle, traveling to cool places. But one night, she's in her apartment in Miami, and she gets into an argument with her boyfriend, this guy, Christian. Now, I don't know what was specifically said, but this argument gets heated, like really heated, and it gets physical. And he's allegedly roughing her up, and he's a lot bigger than her. And at some point, allegedly, Slappy goes into the kitchen area and she grabs a knife. And Christian, he's on the other side of the room and he charges toward her. And she throws the knife at him and the knife sticks in his chest. So she panics and she calls 911.
My boyfriend is dying of a stab. Ma'am, what is the address?
Paramedics eventually get there and they take him to the hospital. But unfortunately, Christian doesn't make it. So police interrogate Slappy and they ask her questions, and she says she threw the knife in self-defense because he was being abusive, and they're like, alright, cool, and they let her go. Then police start looking at their records, and they see that the police had been called a lot on this couple recently, mostly for domestic disturbances. In fact, in the 3 months Christian and Slappy lived in that Miami apartment, the police had been called on them 13 times. So they look at this and they decide that this case is just one big domestic dispute that got out of control, and that Slappy had acted in self-defense, and boom, the case is closed. Until Christian's family, and there's a lot of them, so we'll just represent them like this. Christian's family thinks there is no way this story played out the way Slappy says it did. And they hire a lawyer to look into his death. And while they have to start a GoFundMe because they can't afford to pay for Christian's funeral, Slappy buys a $1.4 million house in Texas and moves there. But despite having little resources, Christian's family push police to reopen the case. And eventually, police do. They start reviewing all the times the cops had been called on the couple for fighting. And they start to notice, in some of these fights, Slappy was the one who was physically abusive.
Allegedly.
Like the year before, she had gotten arrested in Vegas for throwing a glass at Christian's head. Police also got a hold of this CCTV footage, which I can't really show you, but they are fighting in an elevator and she is very much attacking him. So eventually, after all this, they start doubting her story. Maybe he wasn't roughing her up that night. Maybe he never charged at her. But then, they get a massive piece of evidence. The medical examiner's report comes back and shows that Christian's injury was inflicted with a downward stabbing motion, not a knife being thrown from a distance across the room. So after 4 months of freedom, police track Slappy down, she's in Hawaii in rehab, and they arrest her, and here's her mugshot. And she's charged with second-degree murder, and she's currently in jail waiting for her.
This goes on to show, guys, that looks are deceiving, bro. Like, you know, from the standpoint, if you look at this girl, you would think she's the sweetest thing out there, bro. You would think she wouldn't harm a fly, you know. But behind this whole facade, behind the appearance, there's a whole monster laying there, you know what I mean? Like, bro, my guy here, the guy she was dating, was like twice her size. In the end, he got killed by her, bro. And even then, right, when she got arrested, they didn't really take her serious. They thought it was like some accident or whatever, foul play, like, you know what I mean? They never really suspected her at all. And they even closed the case, bro. It wasn't until the family were pushing for the case to be opened. Just look at that, bro. Even the whole society already viewed her as innocent. Even though you're supposed to be innocent till proven guilty, but like for her, it was a sure thing. Even the judge didn't bat an eye, you know. Closed it. Oh, this is just a woman, just bad luck. She threw a knife, it stuck on him, he died. Okay, you know, nothing to it. She can continue on with her life. We're closing the case. It wasn't until the family had to be like, yo, no, this is not right. They had to force the police to do further investigation for them to find out that, whoa, wait a second. Let's actually look at this furthermore. What type of women are we actually dealing with? You know, and there you go. You know, that's crazy, man. Like, you wouldn't have expected this, bro. This woman had everything going on. I mean, she did OnlyFans. I mean, you know, what kind of life do you expect from OnlyFans? Yeah, you get the money, you get everything else, but at the end of the day, you're sacrificing your dignity, bro. You're sacrificing your mental health. And I think part of the way she was acting has to do with something with her profession, you know. The kind of profession she was doing took a mental toll in her mind, you know. That's why she ended up doing what she ended up doing with her mans, right? Because it's kind of like a toxic life, bro. Like, you're always trying to make this money, you're trying to please this type of audience, and at the end it's like you feel empty, right? But I mean, this just goes on to show, man, looks aren't everything. You guys gotta look far beyond books.
This is why before you say yes to marrying that your Prince Charming or your Cinderella,
make sure that he or she is not a crazy person. So there's this lady who goes by the name Mary. Now Mary happens to be married to a rich Kenyan man called Leonard, and together they had 2 kids. However, a few years into their marriage, Mary discovered that she married an abuser. Leonard would beat her mercilessly, threaten her with knives, and force her to do things that no one should ever have to endure. She lived in constant fear and pain. The worst part is, whenever Mary reports these issues to the Kenyan authorities, Leonard will always find a way to bury the case with his money. This thing kept on going for years, and when Mary saw that the abuses were becoming too much, she decided to end things with Leonard and live with her kids. But Leonard wouldn't let that happen. According to reports, he wanted the kids to stay with him even if he and Mary ended up splitting. But Mary, on the other hand, wasn't ready to let her kids stay with an abusive man like Leonard. So this was how they began going for court cases regarding their children's custody. But it seems during all the court cases, everything was going in the way of Leonard, and Mary didn't want that. She didn't want to end up losing her kids, coupled up with the abuses she was still receiving. So she decided to run away to another country with her kids. However, whenever she tries to leave, Leonard will always pull strings and stop her. One time she attempted to leave the country, Leonard reported her to the police and they prevented her from traveling. Another time she tried leaving again, he reported her to a mental health institution as being mad. She was then forced to stay in the country inside the institution till she became sane again, despite the fact that she was never mad. After trying over and over and over again, Mary eventually fled Kenya successfully with her kids to the US on September 2022. After 22 years of being in an abusive marriage and almost losing her kids to an abusive man, she was finally free from the shackles of Leonard. When Leonard found out Mary had left Kenya with their kids, he was pissed. Like he was... So later on, he took a flight to the US to find Mary. When he arrived in the States, he hired a private investigator to help him locate where Mary lives, who she lives with, what her daily schedule was like. He wanted to know everything about Mary. Now, before the private investigator accepted to work on this case, he asked Leonard a very important question: why he wanted Mary's details so desperately, and his reply was that he has a court case with Mary that is coming up soon and he needed some info he could use against her in court. So the private investigator began working on the case, but along the line he dropped off the case because he suspected Leonard had an ulterior plan. So Leonard hired another private investigator, and with the help of this new investigator, he tracked his son, which eventually led him to their mother, Mary, and then he started plotting to kill her. Now, ever since Leonard arrived in the States, there was one particular Uber driver that drives him to wherever he wants to go, and he became kind of close with this driver. So one day, while Leonard and this Uber driver were on a trip, he started talking to the Uber driver about the issues between him and Mary, his hatred for her, and how he just wants to, kill her in the most evil way possible. The Uber driver, hearing all this, was like, "What the hell?" And then he began recording everything Leonard was saying. Leonard further told the driver to help him find a hitman or an assassin that will end Mary's life once and for all. The Uber driver agreed. However, after he dropped Leonard, he immediately contacted the police and sent them the recordings. So the police set up a sting operation. They sent in one of their officers to disguise as a hitman and meet up with Leonard. The Uber driver then contacted Leonard and told him he already got a hitman for him. So Leonard set up a meeting at a hotel in Putnam for him and the hitman, not knowing the hitman the Uber driver got is an undercover police officer. During the meeting, Leonard told the hitman that he wanted the death of Mary to be slow and painful. He suggested that the hitman could probably inject her with something to make her sick so that she would die slowly, and that the hitman should do it between January 28th and February 3rd, 2024, when he would have returned back to Kenya, so no one would suspect it. When the hitman heard all this confession, he revealed his true identity to Leonard, and with the help of other officers, Leonard was arrested and is now facing charges of attempted murder.
Now I want to ask you guys on this next video, whose fault do you think this is? Because if I look right from the beginning, this woman, she chose to marry this dude, right? Because he was rich. He has everything going on. She hit the jackpot, bro, She sees money over there. She sees luxury. She sees a nice life. But what she did is she just signed herself to a whole lot of misery, bro. Right? She signed herself literally to go to hell. That goes on to show, guys, yeah, that's saying money is the root of all evil kind of makes sense. She decided to chase money, and this is what you get. The type of treatment you get from the men with money. It's like, why are you even surprised? They have money now. They can do whatever they need, you know. You thought, oh, let me just go in, let me get married. This is going to be a fairy tale kind of life. But in the end, you were like, I bet you were wishing to go back to your previous life before you even met him. Like, you had to escape to America, bro. Like, that's rough. From Africa to America, bro. Like, you didn't even go to another city or anything. You had to go to America, bro. And look at that. Your ex-husband still followed you to America. Man, all I can say is, like, you're lucky your life didn't end, man. Like, it was so close, bro. You know, this is why, I mean, I don't say it's always the women's fault, but I always say they always have a role to play, right? The type of men they choose, the type of credentials they look for or they follow, or the attributes, you know what I mean? Like, these high income, high performing, whatever man you guys are always looking after may not necessarily be the perfect man you need in your life, or may not be what you want. It might actually be the opposite.
I ended up blocking the guy that was sitting next to me on my 15-hour flight to Sydney, Australia that I spent the day with. Once we landed, I ended up getting a very unsettling comment on one of my TikToks about him that kind of added up. And, you know, obviously don't believe everything that you read on the internet, but I am kind of choosing to believe this. When he first sat down next to me on my flight, I had texted one of my friends and I was like, wow, this really hot, older, definitely probably going to assume that he is a dad, just sat next to me. And you know what? I like an older guy. Shoot me. I slept 13 hours of this flight. I woke up and this hot guy was just looking at me and made a joke like, oh, wow, I can't believe you just slept that whole time. You know, I kind of wanted a friend for this flight. I had nobody to talk to. And then we got to chatting and I was like, whatever, cool, awesome. We had a lot of things in common. Since we have a lot in common, he was like, what's your Instagram? Gave him my Instagram. He was supposed to have a layover in Sydney to get to another part of Australia to go visit his friends. And he didn't think that he was going to have enough time to get to his gate. And then when we landed, there was a medical emergency on our flight. So he was like really tripping, being like, wow, I like might be stuck in Sydney for the day with you. Like, we should hang out. Because I had told him, since I thought that, you know, he was just gonna be someone I'd never speak to again, my plans for the day, which was just walking around by myself. So I kind of didn't really have an excuse to not hang out with him. We land, I get separated from him because he's like rushing to try and make his flight. And then I'm in the bathroom pulling myself together because obviously I sat on a bag of fruit snacks on my flight and my white sweatpants were stained red on my ass. He messages me and is like, okay, so I did end up missing my flight. Are we doing this? And I was just like, okay, this is in God's hands now. If I run into him at baggage claim or outside by the Uber lot, I'll hang out with him. Obviously I run into him at the Uber lot. He gets in my Uber that I already had called. I've already gone into detail about our day together, walking around the harbor, the mall, whatever the fuck. He ended up rebooking a flight for 5 o'clock to go to the other part of Australia he was fucking going to. We walked back to my hotel so that he could grab his bags and my bags because my hotel room was finally ready and he had to leave. But as he was about to leave, he like sat next to me on a bench in the hotel lobby and looked at me and was like, can I ask you a question? And I was like, sure. I just wasn't being flirty at all. So when he looked at me and asked me if I liked him, I laughed in his face. He was asking me a lot of relationship questions during lunch. I was just kind of like, no, I don't want a boyfriend. I'm not interested in a boyfriend. I don't even think I want to get married or have kids. And he was venting to me a lot about how he really feels pressured to like find a girl. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But once again, this guy is really hot. So I was kind of just like, you are kind of too old and too hot to not have something wrong with you if you are struggling this much to find a girl. Like, what are we, fam? What are we getting at here? So I essentially tell him to fuck off because he then started making jokes being like, you know, I was wondering if I should miss my layover and, you know, stay with you at your hotel and go out to dinner with you and your friends later. And I was just like, you're not doing that. You're not what? No. Why would you think that you're gonna just, no. He leaves. The only thing I have is his Instagram. I'm posting my TikToks about this. 2 days later, I wake up in my hotel room and I have a comment from an account with like no followers or anything. They comment his initials, question mark, what is obviously his age, because he never told me. I told him I was 24, but he didn't tell me his age. I just didn't even fucking bother asking. Then said he has kids, which he told me he doesn't have kids. Then said does not recognize his kids, his family hates him. Then listed a job that he used to have, or he at least claimed to me he used to have, but you wouldn't know that that was ever his job unless you actually knew him, because that is nowhere on his Instagram at all. Then this person stated that he is positive for a disease that, you know what, this may or may not be true, but I'm just not gonna air it out right this second. You can just take a wild guess. as to 2 things that he's allegedly positive for and doesn't acknowledge, which scares the shit out of me because he pretty much tried to kiss me in the lobby. Do you think he was going to disclose the, like, do you get what I'm getting at? And then this person continued to say that he was a narcissist and that I need to get away from him. So, he ended up DMing me a couple times after this. Just really weird, unnecessary things. And then I ended up blocking.
Okay, yo, you guys heard this nice video? Like, I mean, the thing is, I don't like when people talk like this, bro. To be honest, bro, like, how are you gonna speak like this? Like, you know, the tone she's still using is as if she's still a victim. You know, it's as if she didn't choose to sit by him. He came to sit with her, and it's like as if this dude was bothering her the whole time, 13 hours, and all of a sudden, once the flights are done, they hang out, you know, he comes to her hotel, all this, all that, blah, 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 blah. And at the end, she's still talking as if she didn't like him. Like, it doesn't even make any sense. Like, which one is it? Did you like him? Did you not? Because at the beginning, you said he was handsome, he was older, blah, blah, blah. But then at the end, you were like, you know, he was kind of like enforcing himself on you. He's talking to you, you're sleeping, he's telling you, you know, how could you leave him bored, blah, 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 all this and that. And yet, you're still agreeing to be in his proximity and spend time with him. But at the end, you want to tell your story as if it wasn't your choice, as if he kind of forced himself on you. It doesn't even make any sense. And at the end, let me say this: why would you choose to believe random comments influence your decisions for you to leave him? Like, why did it have to get to that point where you have to read a random Instagram whatever comment that was left on a post for you to be, oh, he's not right for me? Like, right from the beginning, didn't you see the red flags? Like, I'm pretty sure you should have gotten the hint, like maybe he was not your type, you know, especially since you were saying, like, you know, you weren't into him like that, like you were trying to do your own thing, but he's enforcing you. It's like, why didn't you put your boundaries? Like, why didn't you have your boundaries all strict and set up right from the get-go? But, you know, girls don't really show these strong boundaries, but at the end, it's like they're all victim. It's like, you could have told him no, you could have told him leave me alone, I want my privacy, I'm sorry, I'm married. You could have come up with so many excuses, but yet this leads me to believe that you liked him as well. You thought he was attractive, you were entertaining him, but by the end you kind of got hurt after you found out certain information, right? Such as he has a whole family, he may have disease or whatever. So that's what set you off, right? And gave you the green light to block him. But it wasn't until then, like, you were enjoying all these events, him hanging with you, spending time, you were enjoying it. Up till the end, you got a little bit sour after you found out some information that he had possibly lied to you about.
The actor Danny Trejo. Before, he was in prison for many years for robbing banks. And in prison, he tattooed himself a huge tattoo of a woman here. He learned how to act in prison. And then when he got out of prison, he started working. And of course, he landed on the movie my first movie that I did. And when he saw me for the first time, he ran towards me and ripped his shirt off. And he said, I knew you before I knew you. I dreamt you before I knew you. And sure enough, there was a picture of a woman that looks exactly like me. The body was a little bit better, but let's pretend. Exactly like me in his chest.
Wow.
Yes, yes.
That is very peculiar.
And he said, I just got out of jail, and I'm happy, but for you, I would rob another bank. I am texting something, and I see his phone, and there is this message. Hi, this is Elena. If you want to improve your English, you have to practice. Do you want to practice now? Jimmy, I'm Mexican, you know? 4 hours later, we're eating. I'm cool, everything, I'm acting, hi, baby, everything's okay. I'm eating, and I go, who the hell is Elena? Who the hell is Elena? And he's like, I don't know. Yeah. Must be one of your cousins, Elena's. I don't know any Elenas.
Oh, really? You
and
don't know Elena?
And you tell that Elena that I speak English, you can practice your English with me because she sends you a message. Yeah. And he goes, you mean Elsa? Elsa, Elena, whatever. And he starts laughing. It's an app. Like cheating.
Or this goes on to show that length, some people will go for the other person. Like, you know what I mean? They'll even tattoo another person's face on their body. Like, why? How would you do that? Like, the people that are tattooing, you know, their partner's face and all that all over their body, it's like, yo, this is a mark, you know, you have for life. Like, you didn't even tattoo your family or your grandmother or anything, or even Jesus Christ. You chose to tattoo a woman that you didn't even know, and you have that tattoo for a long time until you met her. You're like, I knew you before I even met you. Like, how weird is that, bro? Like, this woman probably wouldn't have known you existed if you hadn't landed that role and became an actor, you know? It's crazy, bro. Like, I mean, the way you guys pedestalize these women, bro, and you put them up high like that, and you have them all over your body. It's like, at the end of the day, do you think she would have tattooed a huge face of you on her body? Like, just reverse the roles a little bit. Do you think a woman would just tattoo a random dude on her body like that? The only person she probably would tattoo would be like her children, maybe her husband even, or her father, parents, whatever. But a random guy she doesn't know, bro. This is what I always say as well. Like, some men are crazy out there, bro. You know, very crazy, bro.
Spot on, bro. So look, this is her profile. It looked like her name is Tia Ray, I think. I'm not sure. You feel me? I'm not even gonna say it. I'm gonna like this picture. I have to like that. Like, you see the face card is there too. She is super pretty, bro. 10 out of 10, bro. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna follow. I already like 3 of them pics. You feel me? Now I gotta wait for her to follow me back. Going through her hollow. Like, why does it look so good? There we go. So look, let me go ahead and click this profile. You feel me? I'm finna go ahead and hit her with the classic. Yo. No heart, no heart, no heart, no heart, no heart, no heart. We gonna switch it up today. Oh, she seen it. Hey, with 2 wides. Them 2 wides just do something to me every time. Oh, I ain't gonna count. All right, so look. I'm finna hit her with the little, where you from, Miss Tia? Look like she from Atlanta, but you feel me? I still gotta like act like I don't know just to get something to talk about before you feel me? Atlanta, what about you, Mr. E-Man? You must be trying to be funny, but I'm from Atlanta too. I am funny. That's what's up. Don't dry me out, bro. I'm finna be like, so we both from ATL. You must be trying to be like me. Trying to be my little twin, you feel me? I feel like this should work. No, you wanna be like me, I said it first. Okay, maybe I do, if you let me. That's smooth, bro. Like, you see how I just like roll off like smooth like butter, just slide off the plate. She typing, I have a boyfriend, so I don't. Like, I don't even know what to say to this. This is what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just screenshot this real quick, swipe it over to this app right here. It's called Wing AI. Upload my screenshot in there real quick. It's like free sauce, bro. This the response I like. I don't see how that's a problem. I'm gonna copy that, swipe it back, and just paste it, just how it is. Like, I don't see how that's a problem, bro. We can still be friends. She's You're right. Hold on, you look better in. Don't flatter me like that. You look better anyway. I'm gonna put a heart on that. I'm gonna be like, chill with a laughy face. We doing too much talking on here. Send me your number. I ain't gonna cap, I'm going for the kill. Come on. I definitely just hurt my knee, but I'm finna text Shawty real quick. Download the app. You see it's free sauce, bro.
Man, this video just proves that no woman is safe out there, bro. Even if she's taken, she ain't loyal, bro. Like, literally, she indicated she has a man, but yet she's out here still even texting and even giving him her number, and she has a man, bro. First of all, if your woman is also talking to other dudes on Instagram, no matter if she's replying to a question or whatever, at the end of the day, if she's in a relationship and she's still doing this kind of moves behind your back, she's already cheating on you right off the bat. I know some of you guys are like, oh, she's just replying to messages, not a big deal. No, it is a big deal, because if she's all about you, she shouldn't even be entertaining these type of dudes to begin with. Damn, bro, that's crazy, bro. And I bet you anything that she changed after she saw his profile, right? Because he probably has a lot of followers. His lifestyle is probably all up. After she went to his page and she's like, oh, he's popping like that. All of a sudden she became interested in him way over her boyfriend. So if you guys are like this chick's boyfriend out there, you know, you're dating a regular girl, and at the end of the day, your girl is, let me rephrase it. So if you guys are dating a chick, right? And at the end of the day, some other dude on a higher social status type of level slides in her DMs, you bet she's gonna drop your ass for him, you know? That's how it goes. They're always looking for what's the next best thing out there. So all of you who are on these like 5-year relationship, 10-year, you guys think you're locked in for life. You ain't, bro. She's not safe. All your women are not safe. It takes just the right type of guy to slide in on their DMs and she's out of your hands, bro. Trust me.
So this guy, let's call him Creed. And Creed has a problem. He's dead. Lying in a grave, just super dead. So Creed is a retired professional boxer, and he's married to this woman, Lulu. Lulu's from Mexico, and together they own and run a local gym. And one day, after being married to Creed for 3 years, Lulu finally becomes a US citizen. And it's around this time, her attitude starts to change. Like, she doesn't need Creed anymore, and they're no longer getting along, and they start fighting a lot, and then one day, suddenly, boom, she files for divorce. So I guess now, Lulu's gonna move on and not cause any problems between her and Creed. No, she's not. So Creed and Lulu have this mutual friend, who we'll call Sidekick. So Sidekick works out at their gym, and one day he's there, and he overhears Lulu in a conversation, talking about hiring someone to unalive her husband. And Sidekick's like, she can't be serious. So the next day, he confronts her about it, and turns out, she is serious. I mean, she really wants Creed gone. So Sidekick tells her, alright, don't do anything yet. I'll help you with this. I'll help you hire a hitman. Here's the thing, though. Sidekick has no intention of helping her. He just wants to stall her. So he immediately calls Creed and he's like, hey, your wife is trying to hire a hitman to unalive you. And Creed is shocked and he's hurt and he knows that if he dies before their divorce is finalized, then she gets all the money he's made from his pro boxing, from his gyms, all that stuff. And he doesn't want her to get all his money. Plus, he doesn't want to die. So Creed and Sidekick go to the police and they tell him what's going on. And the police are like, yeah, you need more evidence. And at this point, Creed is scared for his life because this hit could come at any time and he and Lulu are still living in the same house. So he and Sidekick come up with a plan. So Sidekick calls Lulu and he secretly records her. And he's like, hey, I found a hitman for you. And he gets Lulu to confirm on that recording that she's plotting to unalive her husband. Then Creed and Sidekick go back to the police and they're like, hey, we recorded her admitting it. And police are like, okay, we believe you, but a jury might not. So we need something more concrete. And then police come up with this wild idea. And they're like, okay, in order for this wild idea to work, we need Creed to be dead. Or at least we need him to pretend to be dead. So then police put special effects makeup on Creed to make it look like he got shot and died. Then they drive him out to the middle of nowhere to this dump. And at the dump, they find like a hole in the ground that's big enough for a body. And they make him take his shirt off and get into it. And then they tell him to pretend to be dead. And they take a bunch of pictures. Then they set up a little sting operation. And one of the police officers goes undercover. And he pretends to be the actual hitman, who we'll call Fake Hitman. So then Fake Hitman gets Lulu to agree to meet with him so that she can pay him for this hit. And then they meet up at night in this shady parking lot. Now part of this deal is that Lulu's gonna pay Fake Hitman $1,000, plus some of the life insurance money she's about to collect. So then Fake Hitman shows her these photos of Creed looking all dead in the grave and she's satisfied. So she pays him the $1,000. A period of time later, Lulu's working at the gym and suddenly police show up and they ask her, hey, have you seen Creed around? Some people reported him missing and she's like, no, I have no idea where he is. And that is the final piece of evidence police need to complete their operation. They needed her on record lying to police and denying she knows where Creed is. So they arrest her, they charge her with second-degree solicitation of murder, here's her mugshot, she takes a plea deal and gets 20 years in prison.
This video is just ridiculous, right? Like if you have to go to the length of faking your own death because you're trying to escape your wife from killing you, bro, and you're a man, at the end of the day, you got a problem, bro. This is why I always say the type of women you're always dating out there, bro, they ain't really princess type, bro. They're monsters, bro. You know, you guys meet this type of woman, you know, you think she's pretty, she all this, she all that, you think like she's your sweetheart. But then at the end of the day, it's like, bro, it's not till you're at a point where you have to fake your own death to actually live that you start realizing how stupid you are for even meeting this girl or even starting a life with her or even for getting yourself deep in this mess in the first place, you know. It's crazy, bro. I bet my guy here was like He was regretting all his whole life of, why did I make the decision of settling with her? Like, why couldn't I still just be single? Why couldn't the Lord have prevented me from meeting this chick in the first place? Like, but at the beginning, I bet you the first 6 months, the honeymoon phase, life was perfect. Peaches and apples, right?
Let me tell you the maddest compliment I've ever received from a Jamaican man. I was sitting across from him, he was dreads, very handsome. He said, "I love your smile." And I was like, "Okay, thank you." He was like, "You know I like women with black gums." And I'm there. I was like, okay.
Yeah, but like it can get worse than that. Like when you go to Jamaica, I've heard them call girl, if you're Caucasian, one mango juice, like just because she's a tan. Like what are we doing here? And then the worst one, like obviously shout out West Green Road, like home of Jamaica. I've gone into the barber shop and a man said to a woman, "Boy, now you look good. Me want to climb in your bed in front of your parents." I said, "What? You want to do what in front of him?"
Bro, that's crazy, man. Like, here's what I mean, bro. The type of men these women are after are the corniest men out there, bro. They're the weirdest type as well. Like, you know what I mean? They may be good looking, but they're not calibrated right. And these men will be talking without even filtering, bro. Like, "I like your smile. I like black gums." You know, they be saying the weirdest things ever, bro. You see, like a woman would not settle with like a regular, you know, average dude. Let's call it a 6 out of 10. No, she want to get the best of the best, right? So she always try to settle with an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 dude. But the 9 out of 10 dude ain't gonna give her the same respect as a 6 out of 10 would have gave her. You know what I'm saying? These dudes who are usually handsome as well, they have that lifestyle, they're out there, they have everything going on. They don't care because they're getting influx among the women, so they say whatever comes to their head, even the weirdest, creepiest things. They don't care if they turn you off, if they give you the ick. They don't give a shit because you don't matter to them. They're getting access to a lot of women. So I mean, that 5 or 6 this girl could have been settling with would have probably given her the respect she would have wanted, would have probably treated her properly. But at the end, no, they want the next best thing, and the next best things end up being the toxic type, the ones who are, you know, abusive, the ones who are manipulative, and you know what I mean, with a whole lot of issues. And then the women will come crying, I didn't see it coming, I was a victim in this. You know, it's like, miss me with all of that.
Bro, I'm sorry, but this generation of men and women, you guys are not off the hook, but like, we're gonna talk about the guys right now, are screwed. Like, screwed. All right, listen, I just finished the gym. All right, I met one of my boys, right? I haven't seen him in a little bit, but he was telling me about this girl that he was been texting, right? And he like likes her or whatever. Okay, good for you. So I approach him in the gym, right? And I'm like, "Yo, bro, like, how was that date? Like, I know you guys were talking about it, whatever." He goes, "Nah, bro, it was great. Like, she picked me up." She picked you up? He picked you up? Okay, why didn't you pick her up? He goes, "Nah, I didn't want to waste gas. Tough economy we got. All right, it's okay, cool, whatever. Where did you guys go?" He goes, "Bro, we went to Applebee's, bro. It was great." I know a lot of you females be thinking about like, "Oh, I never go to Applebee's on my first day." Okay, it doesn't matter. And then he goes, "Bro, but like she picked up the bill. Like I didn't even want to pay, and she actually picked it up." I'm like, I'm Arab. I don't think you guys understand that my dad would disown me if he found out I let another girl pay for anything, especially one that I'm talking to. Oh my God. So that great convo, and then she took me home. So then I'm in my mind, I'm like, "Oh, did she open the door for you too, bro? Did she smack your little ass? Come on, bro."
Okay, you know what? I gotta disagree with my man here, alright? I get what the point you're making. You know, man gotta act like man at the end of the day. Yeah, I agree. I second that. But well, let me just say this little thing. The fact that woman drove to pick up my man, took him to the date, paid the tab, dropped him home. At the end of the day, this man knows he's with a proper woman. Because guess what she just did? She just weeded herself out of like 95% of the rest of the women. You know, she decided to drive, spend on my man, spoil him, treat him like a king, like he should be treated. You see, like, what's wrong with that? Matter of fact, now all it does is just enforces the man's, you know, beliefs that, you know what, this woman is the one for me, right? If this man is actually looking for something more serious, like if your friend is looking to date or to settle, whatever, this is the type of woman he should be settling with. And this is for all of you guys out there, right? This is how you filter women out there. You ask her for some favor if she can, you know, come drive and pick you up, or you tell her, you know, if she can, I ask her if she can cover the bill, and she offers to cover it, no problem. She comes to pick you up, no problem. You know she's proper, bro. That's it. It's case closed. Because a lot of women will argue with you, they'll block you, they wouldn't want anything to do with you. The moment you try to make them pay the bill or you try to ask them to come pick you up, they're like, no, I'm the princess, you should treat me like a princess. No way, bro. You know, so I mean, I get what he's saying, right? Yeah, this generation of men is this and that, and I mean, I gotta agree with that. But I mean, but at the end of the day, when it's things like this, you know, you're doing a little test to see if she's proper for you, if she's a well-maintained woman, if her mind is right, if she's, you know, mature, and you just run this test, like you try to pretend like you're the princess for that first date, and the woman just obliged, and when she comes and she picks you up, takes you on a date and all that, like, yo, you already know you're with a proper woman, bro. You know, so I mean, at the end, man, all I gotta say is you have a point, but then again, at the same time, if you're looking for something serious, you're looking for that stable partner, you're looking for a woman who's just not after your money, not only after to use you, right, for your resources, then this is a method you should be taking, right? This answers all your questions you need to know. But anyways, guys, that's the video. If you liked it, make sure to click the like button, subscribe, leave comments, tell me what you thought. As always, Papi out.